Hello, Warriors. How's everyone doing today? Hello, Michael Sinatra. Hi, Bran. I'll do my best. K-Man, James Groom, Ryan. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the dollar having a pretty high DSI, and we got a little bit of a turn in the dollar. Why don't I start with you, Ryan?
Hey, mate.
How are you, buddy?
All good,
So,
all good.
you
You?
know, pretty good. I thought this was a breakdown, and here we are back above it.
Back in the box. Yep, back in the
Yes.
box.
Okay, so what do you do with it here? It negates a breakdown. Is that a long on you buy it on dips now?
Yeah, we're already holding that 126, which was the break point. So that's still your line. If we test there from here and it holds, then you got to think we're back in that range, and then you got to see what it does on the upside, maybe up to that 127.60, 70 area again. And yeah, you go back to playing the range. It's as I suspected. This dollar move we had was just the repricing of those expectations for the Fed, that timeline kicker. And the levels have held. We nearly got close to the next big levels, and now we reversed. Doesn't mean it's over and the dollar can't strengthen from here, but it needs to strengthen for other reasons other than what it did this week.
What so or how about the same reason, Ryan, that yields had backed off pretty good yesterday.
Yeah,
So from 420, if this turns out to be a flag, that might do it, right?
yeah,
So right, so and it could be right. I mean, it's so far pretty shallow pullback unless it does one of these. Could do that
yeah.
too to about 4, but I think 4% has to hold, or this was just a squeeze. We'll call it the employment 60 minutes squeeze. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens there. I'm still constructive, thinking higher yields here. Um, so
Yeah, I
maybe
think the reason for the dollar to continue now is not so much on timing of rate cuts, but the the economic performance, the difference between America and elsewhere.
okay,
If the US maintains good data, the dollar's going to stay supported, and if the rest are weakening, then dollar continues higher. But it's that side of things is a bit of a grind over the next few months rather than the flash in the pan that we saw the last, beginning of this week.
okay. Thank you very much,
My pleasure.
Ryan, and bring K-Man in for the end. So good morning, K-Man.
Good morning, Dale. Good morning, everybody.
So that was a pretty good sell-off yesterday. The day
Yeah.
before yesterday, with the yield shooting up, the end commented it didn't make much upside progress on that. So is this it? We just have a pullback and begin to advance, or is this more significant in your view, the peak that we had
Yeah.
last week?
Well, I was already saying yesterday, I suspect perhaps a few offers up there, and
Oh yeah, exporters.
it seems they're lining up there. But then on the other side, there's the other side of it as well on dips, and it's I think it's going to be a range. I think for as long as we are looking at the interest rate differentials remaining where they are, it is still tough to see dollar yen or any cross yen. Well, depending on where the differentials are, but Swiss yen may be something different. But I don't see too much of a reason right now, unless like heavy speculation that the Bank of Japan is going to raise by 0.5% or quarter percentage points one after the other to be really long yen right now. So it'll depend a bit on what the dollar does. I think we're still in range.
Okay, that's
Really,
fine.
the yen can be a bit volatile. Will it hold here? I like actually your few lines there where it's seemingly holding, because if you look earlier in February, it capped up there. It capped through that red
Yeah,
line, and then when it broke, it accelerated, and now it's holding.
Yeah, those are just moving averages.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
amazing how they could act like almost look like a trend line at times when they
Yeah,
converge. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not a huge fan, but when they are there and they play a role, we can't ignore them. That's the thing. And that's where I am at with the yen. I'm still, but selectively, not against every currency, but I'm still rather a seller of yen rallies for now. And then again, I'm going to be Q2. It may be a completely different picture for a few months.
Okay.
I hate to interrupt this conversation, but good morning, everybody. K-Man, did you hear that BOJ's Deputy Governor Uchida, I guess he's speaking tonight. Well, tonight would be tomorrow morning, I guess, in Asia. Any clues to what he might be saying?
No, I haven't heard that. And there is an economic watcher survey out in the morning, but I have not seen any mention of that. I need to
Okay,
check.
I'll see if I can dig up any dirt on it.
All right.
Okay, well, I have you here, Cayman. I want to ask you about the yuan because what China's doing in their stock market, there's news all over the place that they, have announced more buying in their equity markets. That to me is kind of a sign of desperation when a country comes in
Oh,
trying to support their stock market, right?
yeah. For any other country smaller than the majors and China, I would say it's desperation. But the Chinese, they have a lot of firepower, and there were rumors out this morning that they may even send out the helicopters and stuff. But one can see that the investors are still not on board with the story, right? Otherwise, you would see dollar China come off on where we see dollar coming back on more on the defensive versus the past couple of sessions. Dollar China is finding bids under 720. There's buyers there. So the investors are still not on board with the whole thing. So yeah, they are still leaning with your view of what they are trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because investors or at least traders are on board for this and on board for this. So just a couple examples of
Mm,
Chinese stocks. So what they've done in the market has, squeezed shorts and generated pretty good rallies, 10, 15%.
yeah.
So I mean, should it be faded?
But the individuals, I'm not 100%. I'm not sure because you got the results. I think Baba came out with results last night as well, right? So on individual stocks, I'm staying out
Well,
of that.
okay,
But
here's the index.
mm,
Kind of looks the same.
yeah, but then you really need to go above that. I guess that well,
Yeah.
right here. But then it would be funny for them or a very good signal for them if it goes up above 24, where the high was just before the year end.
Okay. Could what's
The
happening in China?
difference,
Go
the
ahead,
difference
Brian.
now is you're not fading stocks, you're fading Z or G because he's been out a bit more. He's already cut the head off the CSRC, the China Securities Regulatory Bod. That head man's gone. He's now replaced him. That was after he said yesterday that he was going to have discussions with financial regulators. So he's brought the axe down. Today he said he's asked private business people to strengthen confidence. Private business people are your Alibabas and the like. So what he's asked them to do, they're obviously going to listen to him. So yeah, it's not a question of fading those now. It's now a question of fading the big man. It seems he's suddenly stepped up to the plate and starting to put his foot down on it.
Is there going to be a problem? Should we make new all-time highs? This looks like this market has legs to the upside to challenge a double top, maybe take it out. Would 750, 760 have repercussions around the world in any markets? Will China try and intervene to stop it? It looks like
Yes.
we're going there.
Yeah,
Yes, they will.
I think they will be on top. I think they won't let it go. They can't let it, well, in a way, they can't let it go if they want to reconstruct and get investors in interest back into the country. If you let your yuan go now, that would be good if your economy is buzzing again and you're starting to export. But if they let it go now, that's going to be even creating more confidence crisis.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Because
I think.
go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, I was going to say I think there's more chance of a top forming in this one now.
Okay.
Now that the big man's coming in. But again, we've got big data tonight. CPI tonight expected minus 0.5%, which would be the third month of deflationary numbers, which isn't good. So the fact that previously all the little minions have been coming out and fighting against these moves. Now Xi himself is coming out, suggests it's getting serious over there, and he really needs to put his stamp on it.
Yeah, because the last time from this level, I mean, look how directional and impulsive it was. And then from the double top, it looks much more corrective and not the same type of momentum to the downside, at least yet. And there's only two drives up here, double top. So, I'm thinking new highs in US dollar yuan here.
You've got two forces: dollar strength and China weakness. It's the perfect cocktail. But here you have a currency where they will fight it. They will intervene. They don't give a shit. It's not like the ECB jumping in and intervening, or the BOJ. If these guys want to intervene, they'll throw the kitchen sink at it, and you better be ready.
Okay. Well, it could end up being a great short up there. I just wanted to show the metalheads that silver broke down from a little bear flag that I posted, and the measured move is 2120, just based upon called this the flagpole. I mean, this is technical analysis 101. And then you broke support, and last time we got above 2240, we had a move. This time it's acting as resistance on the verge of breaking down. This is a $1.20 from here to here, so a breakdown from here, $1.20, gives you low 21s, which has been a target off of a couple of formations that people are looking at. So a lot of confluence pointing towards 21 handles in silver. You buyer down there if that,
I would. If
I would too.
21, I'm going to be interested.
Yeah. And gold still, not giving up the ghost.
Yeah.
But I think it will.
Could be the Chinese New Year.
Oh, okay. So they're buyers.
Well, they usually were. Now, it was also a case where dollar yen usually printed a low, but and Golden Week as well, where things where dollar yen was going down ahead of it because they were buying yen because they're going on holidays over there. But I'm not sure whether that still works right now. But yeah, Brian also mentioned that this morning. It's a well-known thing that sometimes gold prints the high over Chinese New Year.
Okay. USD MEX went almost exactly to the buy zone I've been talking about, 17 even. Where did we get down to?
That's the 618, Dale, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
You could buy it with stop. You don't even have to risk this, I don't think. You could just come up with some kind of even money stop. I don't think we should trade under 1695 now, if this is it. So I like it. Okay, and that's about all I have to show everyone today. What do we have? S&P still want that big round number, don't they, K-Man? 5,000.
I was just thinking, looking at it. This is a day where nothing is going to happen. No big data.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
this is a perfect day to print the 5,000.
Yeah.
Because nothing else is happening. And that's a very good possibility.
Hope
Yeah,
you're
there's
right.
there's a Reuters story that Ryan Littlestone is still holding his long S&Ps on Reuters.
I'm trying to keep
It
it
was on
quiet, mate.
Reuters. I called Jamie, said put it out there. Ryan's still long. You did. You wrote out this break, didn't you?
Yeah, still
You
in
are
it.
really
I did some back at that 48.51 area.
okay. Do you have a target in mind, or just going to follow it along and trail stops like a pro?
Yeah, wherever it goes, my friend, wherever it goes.
Okay. All right. So Blake, good morning.
Good morning.
What are you thinking here? Say start with euro. Where should we be looking to sell? Uh, it's hard to stay with a narrative, especially since, I did not buy euro yesterday, even though it was close enough for government work on that, 61.8 um, retrace. You think we're turning here?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of support here. Horizontal support, 618. This is obviously, if you're a seller, you're like, well, initiating new shorts down here is, it's tough. So you're seeing a little bit of a pullback. But if you look at the dollar index as a whole, and you just kind of look at the intraday moves here, we're at the 38% retracement in the dollar index in ascending channel. So I would think downside would be fairly limited, but the dollar is going to have a difficult time as stocks are bid. I mean, you look at the S&P you guys were just talking about. I mean, we're inches away from all-time highs. There's no reason to be on the short side of the S&P. It seems like 5,000 is going to be tested. I mean, we're only 20, 30 points away from there. If you're looking at the futures, we are 20 points away. If you're looking like at a CFD cash market, we're a little bit further away. Still, regardless, we're very close. So, it's hard to be like running out and buying dollars when the stock market is at all-time highs. The flip side is the dollar's holding up very well. And that's if I was short dollars, I would be definitely worried about the fact that the dollar is acting so well in this environment. And then, you could argue, well, US data has been better. So of course we're going to be, long the dollar, but the dollar is going to act well if stocks start to pull back and we start to see a move back towards 4,800. The dollar is probably going to continue to retain its bid as well. So the dollar is difficult right now. It would be a hard short. That's the way I would kind of view it. And you even see it in the dollar mex, as you were just talking about. Yeah.
Have a look at that link quickly. I've put in the Zoom chat here. That tweet that tells you the state of everything you need to know in the stock market right now.
I really hope we get a correction soon. The stock market said Nancy Tango changed. Yeah.
That
Oh
last
yeah.
line.
I mean that's probably right. I mean, you gotta keep it. We're in a bullish breakout. Let's face it.
And there's
We're in a
money on the
bullish breakout.
sidelines.
While above 4,800, you can't. People are going to be putting money to work. That's it. Now, will it sustain? I don't know, but we're not getting any pullbacks. I mean, people are buying dips, and the dips are being bought. I've said this, on a bunch of occasions over the course of the last couple of weeks. We feel like we're going to be going into, blow off top territory soon. And you when you maintain these gains like this, here's the Nasdaq 100. I mean, it's hard to stand in the way of it. Hey, you know who I've got? Well, we've got here today. We have Greg Horvat, and I'd like to hear from Greg what he has to say about the markets. And we got his analysis on ForexAnalytix. So, Greg, how are you?
Not sure if I want to share my views on the dollar.
Well, I know you're bearish the dollar. I already got that. I know you are. Let's go ahead and go over to the dollar and let's take a look at some of your charts here. So, longer term, how are you feeling about the dollar right now?
Longer term, I still think that we can be headed below 100. I still think that this lower trend line support that you're just looking at, we are not testing it yet. So I think that later this year, we could be dealing with that levels around maybe 96, 97. I still believe that the US yields, which have seen some recovery recently, the longer it takes for the Fed to decide on the next move regarding the rates, the longer and more sideways price action will be on the US yields. So I think that we are now here in this corrective stage. Maybe supports for this way forward that you're looking at is not that far away. So I'm expecting price stabilization. I know that market had to reprice some of the recent moves because everyone were just too much hawkish going into this March decision. So I think that there will be some stabilization on notes and the US yields will still come under pressure. And that's why I'm using this as a guide for bearish US dollar. We have also seen some very nice recovery already now looking at cable. We have seen a pretty strong drop on Friday following Monday's sessions as well. But now after Tuesday reversal, I think that now again on Wednesday, if we will switch to the 4-hour chart, that should be it, yes. So if we hold these levels here and even rally further for the US session, then I think that cable, in my opinion, is going much higher. So that
all right. Well, and especially after getting back in what Ryan, you said it pretty well, getting back in the box, right? I mean, that's been pretty impressive, the recovery in sterling after the sell-off early this week.
But it would be good to see if maybe dollar index would really come a little bit lower to confirm this move for pound, because now it looks like the pound is still moving to the upside on its own. It doesn't really match the other markets at this point.
You know, I met with and his interview should be out today. I have to go back and look because I just recently got up. I met with Mark Chandler yesterday. And he got long some Aussie following the, all this Chinese hubbub, and he was looking for turnaround Tuesday yesterday. And the Aussie, has obviously staged a little bit of a bounce here from, horizontal support, but still, it's, we're bouncing back in the Aussie, but I have to say you would think the Aussie would have a better response, but I think we'd all say that about China. You go to China and you go, all right, I thought we'd see a bigger response in China than we've had. Matter of fact, if
it's been bigger in China than Hong Kong.
Yeah, if I was Andre, I'd be looking at this, Gartley pattern and looking for a fade. Whoops, not that's what I wanted to do. I'd look for a fade here back in the direction of the trend, but we are trying to find some support. I guess that's the one thing to look at. But how are you viewing the Aussie? And I'll pull it up on your wave counts over here, Grega. Let me grab the Aussie. I don't know where it's at. Did I just miss it? There it is. How are you feeling about the Aussie here?
Well, we're still at very important big support, in my opinion, around this 61.8%. So technical levels are fine, but regarding China and regarding the weak Aussie compared to others, I just think it would be a little bit too early to say that or to go long Aussie. But longer term, I think it has upside potential, pretty nice. But in the short term, it's very hard for me to decide whenever we are bottoming here or no. I just think I would leave it aside for now. But we know that when Aussie bull will start, that this one will be very impressive.
Well, I like your 64, Grega. I've been talking 64 for a while.
Yeah, that's 78.6.
There was something that one of my buddies he brought this up. Shoot, where is it? So JP Morgan traders say buy US stocks, breaking with Kalanovic, team issues, overly conservative call, sees big tech gains while top strategist warns about valuations. So JP Morgan, they're basically fighting their analysts, what's his name, Kalanovic, and basically biting the bullet, saying we got to get long. So I gotta ask you guys this, and we've been around, those of us, well, between K-Man, Dale, Grega, Ryan, myself, we've probably got about 150 years combined experience with us in trading, between the five of us, or close to. You know, everybody's bullish here. Everybody.
But that's still not the mania phase.
It is not. We're not in a maniac phase yet. No, you're right. I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys a specific chart, though. I'm going to take you over to the E-mini futures, and this one's measured up pretty good. So this is 2022 and 2023. Now, what you're going to notice here, these red lines and these blue lines, this is the furthest distance we've been away from the 200 DMA.
Yeah.
On sell-offs,
yeah,
you can see sell-offs here, right?
Yeah.
On rallies. So above and below the 200 DMAs for the last, basically, 2 years worth of trading. Getting rid of, COVID and all that other stuff. Because COVID obviously got a little exaggerated.
So reversion to the mean trade, huh?
Well, we're at the 161% extension of basically, you can say not all of last year's move, but last year's, end of year pullback. We're at the 161% extension, and we're probably within about 40 or 50 points of being, the furthest away from the 200 DMA than we've gotten, in the summer of last year. So that to me, whenever it's like I call it the rubber band theory. When you pull the rubber band too far away from your fingers, the tension's gonna be so strong that it eventually snaps back or it breaks. And in this case, we've got that rubber band pulled away pretty far from the 200 DMA right now. And it shows you historically, you get this far away on your second move, you're bound to get a little bit of a snap back over the last couple of years. So this is where I start going, oh shit, everybody's bullish. And, we got a Fed that's pushing back, even to a point where you had the Fed chair get on 60 Minutes over the weekend to really state his case. Market's still not thinking, not in the camp that the Fed's gonna, be cutting rates, maybe only a couple of times this year, but probably more than the Fed is expecting via the dot plots. Yet, here we are. Now, economic data has been strong, can't deny that, but price is going to, tell us a lot up at these levels. So we're pretty stretched here. What do you guys think about this? I just want to throw it out there. Ryan, let's start with you.
Yeah, well, like you say, I think everyone's bullish. Everyone's got a target on 5,000. Everyone wants to buy the dip. The dip's not coming. I think it's probably going to take a bit of a topside blowout to get the chasers in, to then blow those out, and then you'll get a market that probably pulls back. I don't know, maybe 48s, 47s, something like that, as its usual clear out, and then we go again. So, yeah, I mean, if I see 5,000 anytime soon, I'll be taking profit, and I'll be putting my stops right up behind. Anything over 5,000 is a potential gift. But if it breaks 5 and then it holds a support, well, that's a different thing altogether then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. K-Man, you have any thoughts here? I know you focus a lot on currencies, but any thoughts here? Let's talk this sentiment.
I think it goes. I mean, it says enough that there's so many people trying to wait for dips. I mean, and I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about retail traders, but those comments that Ryan put up, those were out like yesterday or so, or the day before already. But and you've got all those institutionals have been constantly warning, oh, it's not going to go, and we're going to have setbacks, and the economy is going to turn lower, and here we are. And people have to put their money at work, and that's where, for the time being, this money still works relatively the best. So It's going to take a negative economic set of data to turn it around. Don't forget what I've been saying since November. I said all those data in the US coming out. Yeah, it may push a bit on yields, but they are very risk positive, and people, yeah, may not believe it. Yields going up, stocks down. That's not working, guys. It's just not working. And yes, you may. Have the rubber band effect, but perhaps your rubber band is the moving average coming up to where the market price is. That's another possibility. I don't know. For at least I am not standing in the way of this right now. Let's put it that way.
No, you can't. You can't. While we're above 48, while we're in breakout territory, there's no way. This is the ultimate where the market, has to be bullish above this dotted line. But warnings. Dale, yeah, I know you got an interview coming up. Well, actually, let me get your thoughts last, since you got an interview with Adam coming in. Grega,
He's
any
not
final
here.
thoughts before we go today?
Stay with the trend as long as it lasts. Don't
There you
fight
go.
the
All
new
right.
highs.
All right. And Dale, last minute thoughts before you take it with the Adam.
Mortgage your house and buy Apple puts.
Woo, God, look at Dale getting crazy. Now, Dale's obviously being a little sarcastic here. So
No,
maybe.
go ahead, do it.
No, actually, Dale already did it. He needs to find friends.
Help! Help!
Oh,
I'll tell you what strike to buy.
crap. All right.
Anyway.
By the way, do you see Adam? Is he here?
No, I think you have to fire him. He's too busy with the site.
Oh man,
Can't make an interview now. This guy.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, well, I know he's he's writing for some funds and
Okay.
so, but I don't see him either. So I was
He's
just looking just to see if
He's
he's here.
just it's too radical to stiff me on an interview. I think you should fire him.
Oh my gosh, Adam.
I'm pretty
Jeez.
tough today. I have no
You are.
patience for anything.
You
Anyway,
are. Well, so I
and
guess we might as well look at Apple and realize that it did rally off the 200 DMA pretty aggressively on
three
that
times.
on
Yeah.
the earnings. It gapped down, filled the gap, and then some, and
Hasn't
still
made a
going.
new high since December, with the S&P's almost parabolic and NASDAQ almost parabolic. I'm trying it up here around 190. I'm wrong over 200. If we
Well,
break 1.8, go ahead.
No, if it breaks what?
Breakdown under 180 takes it to 160.
Or you could just say below that gap, where it gapped and filled the gap, comes in right around the 618 retracement. So I think that below
that could be bullish.
178.50 would be the trigger. I would think.
Hey,
All right. Anyway, I mean, it's relative performance to the market. I mean, you can almost go back to last July. We only made marginal new highs late in the year by a couple bucks. So, I mean, where's it gone since July? And look at what the market's done since July.
Hey,
so if we ever get a correction in the market, what already has headwinds can really get hit. So
yeah, no, I agree. I'm 100% on board with that, Dale. Whatever. That's why if the market ever turns, you just got to short Russell. That'd be my opinion. I know everybody wants to short whatever's been the highest or strongest, but I would say short the underperformers, and Apple would definitely fall in that bucket.
Yeah, better
hey,
than
one last thing, guys, before we go, we have a 10-year auction. Just make sure you guys know that it's at 1 p.m. Eastern. I believe I need to double check that, but I believe it's at 1 p.m. We did have New Zealand employment data that came in really strong last night. Well, much stronger than expected, even though it's, unemployment rates going up. But check it out. I've been long the Aussie Kiwi. I actually got out of the remainder of my position today. I was long, around these levels. I've been playing it off here, buying it here, selling at the 200-day. I took some of it off from last week up at these, up here. And I took the rest off for a loss today because we actually broke. We broke this long-term trend line. It's a big shift, but I think one of the big macro trades that a lot of people were looking at, a lot of banks we're expecting the RBA, because Michelle Bullock and the RBA was so hawkish going into the end of last year. They're expecting the Aussie to really outperform here. So for those of you guys trading currencies, this Kiwi looks strong, and it's like probing some pretty key levels of support right now. So just a little heads up for those of you that might look around at the dollar and say, I don't know what I want to do with the dollar. Well, maybe there's some opportunities in some of these cross rates, whether it's the Aussie Kiwi, whether you're trading some of the yen pairs. And I know Ryan, I know you and Kay tend to trade a lot of the euro sterling. There's a lot of opportunities in the FX market. So make sure you guys are around utilizing ForexAnalytix, reading all the analysis on all 30 instruments that we have here, not just currencies, but we also have, the German DAX, 10-year, boons, crypto. There's, a lot of instruments that we do cover.
DAX is diverging up here at new highs too, Blake.
The
Not
what?
much
Well,
followed. The DAX.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, we're at all-time highs, and even with German,
remember that fund you talked about that went out of business because they were short Japan and long China before
it
China?
wasn't me. I think that was Ryan that was talking about that.
Yeah.
Was that you, Ryan?
Wow, what a time to put that trade on after they blew out.
The other side, yeah. That's mostly the case, right?
Yeah.
That's mostly the case when they all leave the boat, and there's 20 or so BOA Bank of America traders getting the boot as well because of the same trade. That's usually when they're all out of it. That's when the market turns around.
But traders have to live in their car, take their trade.
Dale, I have a trade for you. If you want a short Apple, won't you do the cross and like short Apple, long Boeing? Because I doubt that there's many more doors to fly off Boeing planes.
Boeing.
Maybe worth, because they were trading at parity not that long ago. Boeing getting smacked, and Apple trading around nearly $200, and Boeing was trading just below.
That's a decent idea.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice idea.
I don't know. It looks pretty penalty to me, but I don't know.
I mean,
except
Blake,
when I get cute.
It's not a technical trade; it's a psychological trade.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's throw in the disclaimers now. This is not trading advice, folks.
All right. Yeah, great idea, Ryan. All right. Well, folks, since we can't find Adam, I just want to say thanks for hanging out with us today. Make sure you check out ForexAnalytix. Jump in the community. You guys want to jump in and have this Boeing conversation with K-Man, Ryan, myself, just jump in. I don't know.
Just do it.
So jump in our chat room. We have a very busy chat room talking about everything, but not Elf. Is that Elf? That was Elf. Yeah. All right.
I command everyone to join today.
Yeah, there you go. Please do. Please do. Come join our community, jump in it, and jump in with us and have fun, especially on days like today when things are kind of quiet. We're going to be speaking about the Fed speak, as we have 4 Fed governors speaking today. Gosh. I believe most of them are voters too. So Kashkari is running his mouth actually as we speak. Headlines are flying around and the dollar's starting to move. So with that being said, I'm going to let you all go. Dale, thanks for guiding us today. Grega, thanks for joining us today. K-Man, Ryan, you guys keep rocking out at the Flow Show. Hey, when's the European time zone change? When do you guys change times?
End of March, I think it is.
Okay, so we do it at the beginning of March. So we'll time change before you guys. All right.
Oh, you only have a few weeks to sleep in, Blake.
I know. I love sleeping in.
Right.
What's that?
You can watch the show for a week and a half or whatever.
I can. For a week and a half, I will be able to watch the tail end of your show. So I'm excited about that. Always excited about that because I think you guys put on a great show. And if you guys don't know where to find Ryan and K-Man, they're on the Flow Show every day. So register right over here and you can listen to them live. So thanks, guys. Have a great day in trading. I'll see you on the Morning Edge, which is a Forex Analytics community show. I'll see you guys there in about 40 minutes.
And if you want to grow as a trader, you want to grow, you have to watch the flow show.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dale. Have a good day, guys.
Don't just count your pips, count your blessings, everyone. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Good hunting. Thank you, team. Kay, Ryan, Blake. See
Thanks,
you guys
Coach.
later. Adios.
Cheers, mate.